Okay. Need to adjust this. Use it to adjust this. Okay. Okay, we are reading from Srimad. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 38, verse 12 through 17. Verse 12. Ya sakila matva habhi sumangalai vacho vimisha gunakarma janmabhi prananti sumbanti punanti vai jagat yastad virakta seva shobhanamataha. Translation by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, headed by whom? By, what did you say, Henry Prabhu?
Didn't Hridayananda Maharaj?
Hridayananda Maharaj, Gopi Pranadhana Prabhu is Vasudev Prabhu's Sanskrit teacher. Yeah. Okay. Translation. All sins are destroyed, and all good fortune is created by the Supreme Lord's qualities, activities, and appearances. Qualities, activities, and appearances. And words that describe these three things animate, beautify, and purify the world. On the other hand, words bereft of his glories are like the decorations on a corpse. Purport. Srila Sridhar Swami brings up the following possible objection. How can one who is devoid of ordinary ego, who is fully self-satisfied, engage in pastimes? The answer is given here. Lord Krishna acts on the pure spiritual platform for the pleasure of his loving devotees, not for any kind of mundane gratification. Verse 13, translation. That same Supreme Lord has descended into the dynasty of the Shatvatas. I can hear some feedback. That's Angel. Thank you, Angel Prabhu. Okay. That same Supreme Lord has descended into the dynasty of the Shatvatas to delight the exalted demigods who maintain the principles of religion he has created. Residing in Vrindavana, he spreads his fame, which the demigods glorify in song, and which brings auspiciousness to all. Shatvatas is it says it's a tribe, but it's like a group. It's a people, part of the Yadu dynasty. Shatvatas, they were in charge of the throne in Mathura. So Akrura, who's speaking now, he's anticipating his meeting with Krishna and Balaram, and he's indicating here that Krishna should be in charge of Mathura by mentioning the dynasty of Shatvatas, not Kamsa. Okay. 10:38:14, translation. Today, Akrura says, I shall certainly see him, the goal and spiritual master of the great souls. Seeing him brings purification, brings jubilation to all who have eyes. For he is the true beauty of the universe. Indeed, his personal form is the shelter described by the goddess of fortune. Now all the dawns of my life have become auspicious. Krura was very poetic. All the dawns of my life have become auspicious now that I'm going to see Krishna. Text 15, translation. Then I will at once alight from my chariot and bow down to the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram, the supreme personalities of Godhead. Theirs are the same feet that great mystic yogis, striving for self-realization, bear within their minds. I will also offer my obeisances to the Lord's cowherd boyfriends and to all the other residents of Vrindavan. Verse 16. And when I have fallen at his feet, the Almighty Lord will place his lotus hand upon my head. For those who seek shelter in him because they're greatly disturbed by the powerful serpent of time, that hand removes all fear. 10:38:17. By offering charity to that lotus hand, Krishna's lotus hand, Purandara and Bali earned the status of Indra, king of heaven. And during the pleasure pastimes of the rasa dance, when the Lord wiped away the gopis' perspiration and removed their fatigue, the touch of their faces made that hand as fragrant as a sweet flower. The Puranas call the lotus found in the Manasa Sarovar lake a Sugandhika. Lord Krishna's lotus hand acquired the fragrance of this flower by coming in contact with the beautiful faces of the gopis. This specific incident, which occurred during the Rasa Lila, is described in the 33rd chapter of the 10th canto, and here it is. 33rd chapter, text 20. Seeing that the gopis were fatigued from conjugal enjoyment, my dear king, that Shukadev Goswami is speaking to Maharaj Parikshit, merciful Krishna lovingly wiped their faces with his comforting hand. Okay. Om Gyan Tirandasya Manjala Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Smai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but my spiritual master is opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him again and again and again. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And for Srila Prabhupada, yes. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Pistai Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinanane, Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Deshatarine. Right. Let me just quickly pull up my notes. Okay. So here in this set of verses, Akrura, who was Krishna's uncle, and he was sent by Kamsa to bring Krishna and Balaram to Mathura, where Kamsa was hoping to kill them. The story is building up gradually, and the culmination will be when Krishna and Balaram will confront Kamsa on the arena, on the arena. So in Akrura here, we don't see Akrura beating himself up. Oh my God, I'm a devotee, but I have to work for this demon, and I have to deceive Krishna and make him go to Mathura, where he will certainly get heard by Kamsa. We're not seeing that. Instead, Akrura is completely absorbed in meditation on his Lord. He says in some, I think in a verse before that, he said, Krishna is friendly to everyone. Krishna does not discriminate, so everything is going to be all right. So he's, in fact, worried about Kamsa. And he's not worried at all about Krishna and Balaram. And He immediately upon arrival, he immediately revealed Kamsa's plan to Krishna and Balaram. So he was kind of working for Kamsa, but his heart was with Krishna. And he immediately revealed that Kamsa is trying to, has devised this plan to get you to come to Mathura, so where he can kill you. And when Krishna and Balaram heard this about this plan, what was their reaction? Does anyone know? What did they do when they heard about this plan? What did you say, Damodar Priya? Laughed? Yeah, they laughed. They started laughing. How pathetic this Kamsa is. Who does he think he is? So they laughed. Krishna is not worried. So that's a lesson for us. As Krishna's devotees, we shouldn't be worried, and we should immediately share all the plans that we have, that we think others have. We should immediately reveal them to Krishna. That's the prayer mood. Whatever happens, let me take to Krishna. And when we reveal our plans, our aspirations, our difficulties, when we reveal them to the worthy devotees who know us and we know them, and when it's done properly with good intentions, then what we get in return is the devotees' blessings. That's our fuel. We actively seek devotees' blessings, and then those blessings will give us strength on our spiritual path and will take us further. I remember one devotee was changing ashrams, and sometimes changing ashrams, graduating from the brahmachari ashram. This move may be perceived as some sort of fall down or something. So when one devotee was leaving the ashram, the brahmachari ashram, and he was going back to school to get a degree, to use it in Krishna's service. And this devotee approached every single member of that particular community where that took place, and he seeked their blessings. He said, "Dear devotees, it's a major step in my life. I'm changing ashrams. I seek your blessings. Please bless me." So this is how devotees deal with new beginnings, with major decisions in their life. We actively go out and seek blessings of other devotees. And I was talking to Ganesham Prabhu, and Ganesham Prabhu said, "See, Alex, this is how Vaishnavas do it. This particular devotee did it in the right way. This is how we do things. We seek blessings before we do anything." So Akrura revealed Kamsa's plan to Krishna. Krishna laughed. Then another point here is that, it says Akrura was very eager to see Krishna, and he was thinking, I'm going to see Krishna, and as soon as I see him, I'll offer my obeisances to him and to Balaram and to all his cowherd friends. So the point here is that Krishna is never alone. It's like we have Adipurusha Prabhu here, and he's never alone. He's always surrounded by Angel Prabhu, by Das Prabhu. His glowing head is like a planet, is like the sun, and Das and Angel are like planets orbiting around his head, his glowing head. we should draw rays, Adipurusha Prabhu. Okay. Yeah, and all of us, every one of us is a little sun and has some planets orbiting around us. Every one of us, we're like that too. So when we should make sure that in our system, in our solar system, everybody is reminded of Krishna. Everybody is engaged in service. Everybody's chanting 16 rounds. Everybody's taking prasadam. That's our responsibility. That in our universe, everyone is sheltered and properly taken care of and uplifted. So as devotees, we should engage others in devotional service like that, with this in mind, thinking this is my responsibility, this person, for by Krishna's arrangement, this person is in my life by Krishna's arrangement. What can I do for them? How can I fan their spark? How can I serve them? Um, so that's our attitude. We all have people that look up to us, that are in our care. Some strange noise coming from the street is distracting me. What was I going to say? Yeah, we all have our system. Yeah, and we should engage others in devotional service. That's very important. We should give them an opportunity, the privilege to serve, to engage in service. Make some mess in the bathroom in the temple so that another devotee can clean it. Give others a chance to serve. That's what Prabhupada did. That's Prabhupada's mentality. He didn't do everything by himself. He let other devotees serve him. And devotional service is very fulfilling. There's no shortage of devotional service. The difference between materialistic happiness is that materialistic happiness is built upon the limited resources of this world. And everybody's fighting everybody for those limited resources in the material world. But devotional service, bhakti, happiness, is sustainable because its basis is devotional service. And there's always enough service. If we seek service, we will be given service. There's no shortage. You don't have to fight for it. Unless you have full ego and unless you decide that you would prefer this particular service done in this particular way. But that's not really devotional service. If that kind of attitude is there. Devotional service is that Krishna, I'll do whatever you want, like Srila Prabhupada prayed. I'll dance however you like. Make me dance. Make me dance. And whether my preaching effort will result in, whether no one shows up on my preaching engagement, or it'll be a success externally, Krishna, I'm eager to do my part. So that's the attitude of a devotee. We're detached from the result. And attachment is bhakti. Detachment in bhakti is not a mere act of detaching oneself from the fruit. It doesn't stop there. Detachment in bhakti really means attachment to Krishna. Bhakti is very positive. It's a positive path. Okay, let me go back to my notes. The devotee is always eager to please Krishna, and Krishna, interestingly enough, is always eager to please his devotee. It's about exchange. When we're eager to serve Krishna, Krishna is eager to serve us. Not in a way where Krishna is supplying our orders and we boss Krishna around. Not in that sense, but in the sense of exchanging love with his devotees. That's how Krishna serves his devotees. Krishna is eager to exchange love with his devotees. That's one of the purposes that Krishna descends down here, to engage in loving exchanges with his devotees. And so there's always a relationship. In anything we do in Krishna's service, it should be done with the view of Krishna's smiling face. That's who we are doing it for. And that doesn't go unnoticed. That's the sweetness of bhakti. Life happens to us, different situations come up, but if we keep Krishna in the picture, then any situation will become part of our relationship with Krishna. Krishna is never alone. He's always surrounded by his devotees. And the soul, the jiva, Krishna's part and parcel, is never alone either. Bhakti is a collective path. We're doing this together. We stick to each other. We uplift each other. We serve each other. We exchange gifts with each other. We offer prasadam to each other. We take prasadam. What's the other two? We open our heart confidentially to each other, and we hear from each other. So how are you? How are you doing, Prabhu? How is Krishna treating you? That's what devotees talk about when they meet. They don't talk about the recent political event or weather. They talk about devotional service. They share realizations. They talk about Krishna. I remember one devotee was giving class, and he said he was serving some sannyasi at a festival. And he said, I was watching that sannyasi. I think it was Gopal Krishna Goswami. And he said, I was watching Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and I was supposed to be there by his side at all times. And I got to witness what he talks about when he meets other swamis. And he said, they talk about Krishna. And he said it in such astonishment. He said, all they talk about is Krishna. They don't talk about some secret doctrine that is only available to senior devotees. They talk about Krishna. That's all they talk about. And when I was listening to that class, I said, wow, that is so profound. There's no secret doctrine. And all we're supposed to give our attention to is Krishna, and everything else will fall into place nicely. Okay. So yeah, Krishna is eager to please his devotees, and the devotees are eager to please Krishna. And the topmost devotee is Radharani. Yeah. Lord Chaitanya came. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna in the mood of Radharani, who descended in this particular day and age to introduce the process that is suitable, that works for this day and age, the age of coil and hypocrisy, the congregational chanting of the holy name. So the mood of Radharani means the mood of service. Lord Chaitanya is an incarnation of Krishna as a devotee. Krishna himself wanted to relish this devotion that his devotee has for him. And he came as Krishna and Radharani combined. So Radharani is the best devotee because she knows how to please Krishna the most. That's Radharani. She's not just another goddess whose job is to boss everyone around, to supply someone's orders. Not that. Radharani, her job is to please Krishna. She's Krishna's pleasure potency. And she can do it the best. She's the topmost devotee of Krishna. She's eager to serve Krishna, and Krishna is eager to serve Radharani. So I have a question for you, dear audience. What are the problems with material happiness? Why can't we just stop at becoming materially happy? Why do we have to seek spiritual happiness? So what's the problem? I can name one problem with material happiness. It runs out quickly. What are some other problems with material happiness? Please unmute yourself.
There's no love. It's selfish on our part or selfish on somebody else's part. There's no love. We're sustained by love.
Yeah, there's no love. It's dry and boring.
And this talk by Akrura, he's talking about so many wonderful things about Krishna. And there's one point that really touched me, how Krishna was touching the face of the gopis. I mean, who touches your face? You know, it's a loving gesture. And we are sustained by the affection, by Krishna's affection and by the affection of the devotees. Without that, nothing else is, no matter what you give us, it doesn't really satisfy the heart. Bhima was telling us that there was a girl, one of his classmates in college, and she was also attending Radhanath Swami's preaching center in Athens. And after he came and moved to New Vrindavan, Radhanath Swami came there, and he told us that this girl, she went in the closet and poured gasoline on herself and set herself on fire and killed her body. She committed suicide. And she said, there's no love in this world. You know, that there's so much pain in somebody's heart when they don't perceive Krishna's affection, that they'll actually destroy their body. I was in a supermarket last night, and there was this one man, apparently he was paralyzed. He was in a wheelchair, and he had this fixed expression on his face. I could see he was so unhappy. And just like St. Francis said, preach all over the world, and if necessary, use words. So I was at a distance from him, but Krishna, said, look at this man, he's suffering. And so I was just looking at him, and I was smiling, and in my mind, I was saying, no, there is hope. This is not the end. There is something, Krishna loves you. And I was just vibing him, and he was resisting. I could see he was trying to maintain his grimace. But from 10 feet away, eventually, he looked at me, he tried to look away, he looked back, he looked away, he looked back. Eventually he just was, impacted by the fact that I was thinking about Krishna, praying for him, and telling him in my mind, no, Krishna loves you, and you're not the body, and it's not hopeless, and he burst into this smile. And there was a lady taking care of him because he was in a wheelchair, and she noticed that, and she was like, I could see she was looking at him like, I never saw you smile before, So the girl who burned herself in the closet with gasoline, she was right there. She met Radhanath Swami. She came right to the edge of devotional service, but she wouldn't open her heart and understand, Krishna loves you. Because the sun is shining, but we make a cloud and we cover ourselves so we don't see that Krishna loves us. And that's really all we need. And Krishna's touching the face of the gopis with affection. And they feel great pleasure and satisfaction to know Krishna loves me. Right? So we can remember that. Maybe that's a rambling share. What came up. I prayed to Prabhupada what to say.
No, it's a nice share. It has gasoline. It has wheelchair. It's very nice. Very graphic. I wanted to read something. It's text 21, chapter 33. Text 20 is where Krishna is um, lovingly wiping the gopis' faces with his comforting hand. And text 21 goes like this: the gopis honored their hero with smiling glances, sweetened by the beauty of their cheeks and the effulgence of their curly locks and glittering golden earrings, overjoyed from the touch of his fingernails. So apparently he's touching them like this with his fingernails. Not like this, like this. Overjoyed from the touch of his fingernails, they chanted the glories of his all auspicious transcendental pastimes. Uh, I recently came to the Pujari room to do service, and Vasudev saw me, and he saw my nails. I have some nails. Those who play guitar, they have to have some nails to make it sound better. So he saw my nails and said, Ananda, I have to cut that. So we shouldn't imitate the touch of Krishna's nails, and we should keep our body clean and sattvic. So I sacrificed my nails in the fire of Sankirtan. Yeah, I cut them to please Vasudev Prabhu. Okay, Damodar Priya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Ananda Bihari Prabhu. I just wanted to reflect back on that. Really, wow, it really touched me, that share that Adi Purusha Prabhu talked about, that poor woman, that young woman who was in so much pain that she chose to harm herself and leave her body. And what I really get from that is that there's some people are in so much pain, and some people also may be like clinically depressed, like there may be, you know, a chemical imbalance in their body that they just can't overcome on their own. So that story really reminds me that we have to have so much compassion for people who are suffering and who are in pain, and to understand that some people just can't do it on their own, you know. And she may have had association of Radhanath Swami Maharaj, but maybe she needed a little bit more help. Maybe she needed to speak to a therapist. Maybe she needed somebody to really hold her hand. We don't know what she went through. So hearing her story, the story of her, all I can think of is that we can pray for her now and pray that in her next life she's able to again get association of devotees, but also that she gets also that people get the help that they need, because there's so many of us that struggle with mental health problems, and it's so important for us to kind of affirm that it's okay to not only pray to Krishna, but also to get that physical help of going to a doctor or going to a therapist, you know, taking medicine if you need to. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Damodar Priya. Jeffrey Eckler Prabhu, followed by by Bhima Prabhu and Bhima Prabhu. Yeah, all three of you.
I think Bhima Prabhu was up first here, so I'll defer to him.
Haribol. Am I okay? Can I be heard?
Yeah.
Kind
Yeah.
Jane, which was her name, was a good friend of mine. She actually started attending the Wednesday night feast cooking class with myself and my friends. She had a friend too, Radhanath Maharaj's and cooking class in Athens, Ohio. Maharaj's first Maharaj's first cooking class and first temple. Anyway, I'm sorry. I got a horse who got out of his paddock, and now he's going into the woods. So please stick with me. She would visit, and she would talk to Maharaj philosophically, but she was adamant in her way of seeing things. She was an artist. I have to get feed. Anyways, it's not a good time for me to talk about this.
We're losing you, Bhima Prabhu.
You'll see an action movie while I'm come on. There we go. This is a little bit of a commercial break here. Come on. Come here, buddy. There we go. Come on. So she was adamant in her thing that she was going to figure it out for herself. She would always say how she would always bring to me when I was visiting the temple. She was a very good friend, and she used to visit a lot. That Maharaj introduced that. He was telling this, to me after I had joined the movement, and I was in New York, Greenpoint, I believe it is called. Long story short, he was talking about her, and I thought he was talking about our relationship, how she would always be like being always questioning and always and not submitting, but not accepting, just needing that independent ideology. I guess one would call it pride. And everybody was laughing because he was sort of like, comparing me to, but in the end, I sort of like, had to, because I was defeated on so many platforms, so many levels. I gave way to Radhanath Maharaj, and I gave way to Prabhupada's teachings. And I took that little jump of faith, but she didn't. And Maharaj all of a sudden in the middle of the class said, and everybody's laughing, and Maharaj said, last week, Jane locked herself inside her closet in the dorm, and she poured gasoline all over herself. And her last words, her last words were, "This world has no compassion. This world has no compassion. This world has no compassion." So I feel like, all of us are as devotees are people who introspect a lot, and a lot of us devotees come to this existential void before we find Krishna, that this world indeed has no compassion, and that when we find Krishna, life re-enters us, and we see that there is beauty, that there is love, that there is friendship, that it is for real. It doesn't end when our body ends. And so things start making sense again. Things have meaning, because without meaning, we all sort of commit a suicide inside ourselves. So I just like to say that, that we are so lucky. And I feel like because of Maharaj going out of his way to finally getting me to acquiesce to the truth, that I missed a life of despair, a life of despair that, is right there underneath the skin of all of us. And when we don't remember that we indeed truly have a father who cares for us, and a lover who is eternally affectionate towards us, and a friend who will always be there to lift us up. So thank you very much for having this class. I'm sorry for rambling on, but I felt that the whole explanation of what happened, that it was this little tiny bit of pride to want to try to figure it out for yourself, and that speculation can lead you down some deep, dark rabbit holes, and so we have to be very careful. So Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Beyond Prabhu. This world has Damodar Priya, and so we have some compassion. She's coaching us in how to be compassionate. Thank you, Damodar Priya. What a story, Jagir Dari says. Jagir Dari, was nice seeing you on the altar the other day. Hare Krishna. Okay. Yeah, don't go into a closet of separation, and don't separate yourself from the devotees. Whatever is on your heart, just throw yourself into the devotees association. They'll pull you out of the closet. They'll take the gasoline out of your hands. They'll bring you back to your senses. They'll pray for you. Do not speculate. Yes, thank you, Henry. But I'm going to stop speculating and turn it over to Jeffrey Eckler, followed by Bhakta Billy.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for the class. Thank you, Bhima, for that heartfelt detail and the ability to identify with that story in a more personal way. In that light, I was thinking about the verses, and so Akrura is, kind of marching to go get Krishna under the orders of Kamsa. And isn't it that we're all in some sort of way on our path to go show up Krishna in some way. I'm so special. I'm so opulent. I'm so smart. I'm so strong. I'm going to go do this thing that's going to be the thing that I do. And to think that we can proceed in this egoistic mood, all the while still chanting the glories of the name, and knowing full well that we are not truly capable of dropping all of the aspects of that mood, that I'm somehow the doer. It's really hard to get beyond that. And even just conceiving of ourselves as the doer, we're really not in the right mindset. So I just like this idea that you can be marching to show Krishna up, but also praying to Krishna at the same time. And maybe by the time you arrive, you'll be in the right state, I guess. But along those lines, I was looking into the Gita because verse 10:10 addresses this kind of well, in that Krishna says, Satata yuktanam vajatam priti purvikam dadami buddha yogam tam yenam upityantite. But in Prabhupada's translation, he says, he phrases it differently than this one I'm looking at now. And he says, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. But this is Swami Narasimha's translation, and I like this a little bit better, the way he changes it. To those who are constantly devoted to me and worship me with love, I continue to bestow upon them devotional inspiration by which they can come to me. So it's not, you pray for it and you get it. It's you constantly devote yourself to Krishna, and he continually bestows the intelligence upon you. And that is that reciprocal relationship that we were talking about earlier in the class. And so I love that you can be opposed in your mind and still devoted. And that's kind of the twofold path that we're constantly walking. It's like, oh, I'm so proud. Oh, I'm so humble. Oh, I'm so proud. Oh, I'm so humble. Is these twin banks of separation and union that we're constantly floating between. And then also that when we do make that connection, that the connection is established and it's continually bestowed upon us. It's not just something that's given to us once and it's like, oh, here's your handout, here's your handout, here's your handout. It's a complete relationship that the devotion flows and the devotional service is bestowed. And I think that's beautiful, and that we can do that in a position where we're still not completely connected or still having some moments of pridefulness or just absolute fall down. So thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Jeffrey Prabhu. Yeah, whether our heart is full of dirt or whether we feel inspired and act pure in a pure way, we should keep serving. It's okay. Shishirada Muli Darki Jai, it's Darshan time. Shaky Darshan by Adipusha Prabhu. A little more Adipusha Prabhu. Yeah, now there's no video. Great. Thank you, Adipusha. Well, this is the ultimate Darshan without video. Okay, but Krishna sees us. Okay, Amrita Kishori comes to the rescue. Thank you, Amrita Kishori. Okay. Jai. Okay, thank you for spotlighting Amrita Kishori.
I stopped immaturity. Sorry.
Thank you, Amrita. Okay. Joshua Prabhupada. All right, this is the afterglow. I had a great thought. What's it?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for such a wonderful class. Thank you so much. One of the things that really touched me. Can you hear me? One of the things that really touched me, because it hit home, was those people who suffer with major depression. That's one of the things that I suffer with. And you can say, "Hey, wake up, snap out of it," or okay, I'll call him and see how he's doing. And no. It's more than that. It's more than that. The camaraderie of being around devotees, sometimes we become so sensitive, and I guess we can become egoistic as well. And it's like, it's all about me. It's all about me. And we need Krishna's. Are you there? Am I lost? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're here. We can hear you, Prabhu.
So, sometimes I feel lost. I feel like, hey, nobody cares. And you know what? This world will be better off without me. You know what I mean? Just let me stop making people suffer and tell them about my pain. Let me just end it so that, everyone can be better off without me. That's it's horrible thoughts, but it happens. One of the things that I love to read is back in the days when I was a minister, there was a scripture in Hebrews chapter 10, verses 24 and 25. And it reads something like, let us consider one another to incite to love and fine works, not forsaking the gathering ourselves together, as some have the custom, but encouraging one another, and all the more so as you behold the day drawing near. So anyway, thank you so much for a wonderful class. I try not to cry, but inside my heart, I'm crying because this is a very touchy subject.
Thank you, Bhakti Billy Prabhu. Thank you for being so vulnerable, so personal here. We love you. We need you.
Love you too, puppy. I mean, I said puppy.
You can call me puppy, it's fine.
Okay.
I'm there for you. I'm eager to serve you.
Okay, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yeah,
Hare
Bhakti
Krishna
Guru is
to
doing so many wonderful services. He's emceeing the food distribution. He tells everybody what to do. He tells the servers how much food to put on the plate for a particular person. Bhakti Billy, you're doing great. Thank you
He's
so
from
much
his
for everything.
children, and he makes sure that his children get association of the devotees and that they hear Srimad Bhagavatam class when he's home. He does a lot.
Bhakti Billy Prabhu Ki
Wow,
Jai.
thank you. Hare Krishna, thank you. Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Yeah, if there's one takeaway that I like to share. If we see somebody who we may perceive as proud or stubborn, or he's not getting it, he's not surrendering, let's not write them off. Let's be compassionate. Let's treat them in such a way that they know that Krishna loves them. That's the instruction that our own Adipusha Prabhu received from Prabhupada. Prabhupada told him, go into the future and treat everybody in such a way that they know that Krishna loves them. That's our maxima. Don't write anybody off. Bhima Prabhu, don't write me off. Okay, serve me.
You're in control of the banking, Prabhu. How can I write you off?
Hare Krishna. Okay. Would anyone else like to say something? It's Sunday. We can go a little bit
I
over
would
time.
like to say something about what Dr. Williams said in that quotation, and this is very important in regards to what we were just talking about. And that is, I remember specifically that when I first started coming to the Maharaj's bungalow preaching center, that he never really went out. He told me stories, which were always, it was like from the journey home, like 20 years before he wrote the book, he would tell the stories, and that would be, you would become enamored and hypnotized by the amount of experience. And then also he would, obviously, as in the book, there would be the philosophy inherent within the story itself, the lesson learned. But the big thing was that because I had his association and the devotees that were there, despite my desire not to become a devotee, a literally active desire, I'm not going to be like this, I want to be like something else. But the one thing that he always made sure that I had was association. I remember him going out of his way to say, why don't you go with so-and-so Das and so-and-so Das this, and go and please help them do that. He always engaged me in service with the other devotees. So if we find ourselves, as Dr. Billy had read from the Bible there, if we find ourselves in a community where we encourage and uplift each other, it's the necessity. It's the necessity. We have to remember that. The tendency is Maya really needs to, sort of like Maya is a predator, and a predator separates out somebody from the herd, so to speak, separates out the prey. So we let us not get separated out from the devotees. And if we find ourselves troubled, the best therapy is just go find some service to do with another devotee. And as I can't remember, was it Bruce? Somebody said that, or Jeffrey Ackler said that Krishna will slowly reveal to you continuously what it is that you need to know to make you feel confident and secure you're on the right path. Just find yourself some devotees and find yourself some service, and all will be made clear. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Bhima Prabhu. Okay, thanks everyone for being in this class. Thank you for encouraging us, for not writing us off, for giving us some service to do, for tolerating us. We love you and we need you, as always. Thank you, Jeffrey Eckler Prabhu. You're such a big thinker, my God. You should write books. Okay, 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, Karuna Care Education. So when we are in crisis, what do we call 988?
Yeah, those are just, if anybody is in mental crisis, and like I said, if they don't have devotees around them who are qualified to mentally help them, then you can also call that suicide prevention line that's available. But also ISKCON has Karuna Care now, which is full of licensed, therapists and devotees who are specially trained as crisis counselors that can help devotees. So devotees helping devotees with those skills is available through Karuna Care. So if you don't feel comfortable talking to just like a regular person, you can still reach out to devotees who are trained to help people who are in mental crisis.
Using that same number, 988. We can reach
No, the
devotees?
988 is just a regular suicide prevention line, but the Karuna Care is that link. You can reach out to them through the website.
Where's the link?
In the
I put it
chat.
in the chat.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Prabhu, can you
are you
send me that
seeing it?
link? Can you send me that link privately on my phone?
Yeah, I'll send it to you, Prabhu. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
All right. So let's wrap it up, dear devotees. Have a wonderful, fulfilling Sunday. Dance for Krishna, feast for Krishna. And be there for other devotees. Be there. Don't let them walk into that closet. Pull them out of there. Be there for them. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Thank you.